I hope the screen is visible to you. You are able to see the screen. Can anyone confirm that screen is visible?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir.
So in today's session, we will try to learn how we are going to execute the programs. What are the steps involved in probably. So far what we have studied in our C programming subject is that the preliminary steps, that is the steps for solving a given particular problem without the programming concepts, that is by just writing the algorithm and a flow chart, and the simple basic knowledge about the C programming, what actually C programming consists of, what are its tokens, okay, variables, data types, all these things we have studied. And also we have gone through a simple C programming, how a particular C program looks like, what are the mandatory fields to be added, what are the optional things to be there in the C program. In today's session, what we will try to understand is that if one wants to write a particular program, what are the steps involved in that one, how to write the program, how to do the compilation of the program, and how to execute that particular program. Okay, these things we will try to understand. So before that, we will try to understand certain terms or the terminologies which we usually hear in order to execute certain programs. Okay, so here only simple three terms I have taken. First one is the syntax, second is syntax error, and third is C compiler. Okay, so pay attention now, try to understand these concepts. Okay, the first one is syntax. So basically what syntax means, these are the set of rules, okay, for writing a particular C programming code. Need not to be a C programming code. In general, syntax means these are the set of the rules and guidelines which are there if someone wants to write a programming code, okay, or any particular programming language. In a simple term, if I want to explain you with respect to a different analogy, suppose if you are willing to write a paragraph, okay, a page in an English sentence or in an English language. So you need to know what are the, how to make a particular sentence, what are the vocabulary of that one, how you are going to express yourself. So those are what? Those are certain kind of rules, how to use the verbs, right, nouns and all, you should be aware of. In the same way, in the programming language also, each and every programming languages, they have their own rules or the guidelines. If someone in the sense, the programmer wishes to write a program in that particular programming language, they have to adhere to the syntax, that is the rules of that particular programming language. Okay, then second term is, suppose while writing the program, if the programmer makes certain mistakes, certain errors while writing that particular syntax, then such type of mistakes we call them as a syntax errors. Okay, so syntax errors are what? These are the errors that occur when programmer violates the syntax. Okay, now we have already know what syntax means. These are the rules. If the programmer violates, that is, if programmer doesn't write in that particular following that particular rules, then whatever error appears, those errors are known as syntax errors. Okay, then the third term is compiler. Okay, in the previous session, you might have heard when I was explaining certain concepts, I was using one term called as an compiler or compilation. So what this actually compiler means? Now, there should be one particular body or a software basically that has to check whether the programmer has written the statements or the program properly or not, whether all the statements or the entire program is syntactically correct or not. There should be some program that has to validate or that has to check whether each and every statement of that particular program is correct or not. There should be someone who can check and validate that whether the rules have been taken care or not. So this task will be done by a particular software. Okay, we call it to be a compiler. In terms of a C, we call it to be a C compiler. What C compiler will do? Okay, there are various parts, various jobs that will be done by the compiler. First is that it will try to check whether there are any syntax errors or not. Okay, if there are syntax errors, then what has to be done? Programmer has to correct those particular errors. If there are any errors, syntax errors, the programmer has to correct. So in order to correct that one, compiler will give the list of errors. So on these particular line numbers, you have these mistakes, you have to correct it. Unless and until you don't correct it, it cannot be converted, it cannot be translated to the machine code. If you remember, in one of the class when we were learning the different types of programming languages, during that time we had come across with something called as a translator. For assembly level language, there is a translator called as assembler. What it does, it converts the mnemonics into the machine code. Okay, for the high level languages, we had come across with two different translators. One was the compiler and second was the interpreter, if you remember it, right? The what compiler does, it is a translator. Translator means whatever the C program has written, that C program is in the form of understandable to the human beings, that is for the understanding to the programmer level. But the same cannot be directly used for whom? The computer. It has to be converted into the computer understandable language, that is machine code, right? The bits, that is ones and zeros, it has to convert it to. Before it gets converted, there should be some software which has to validate whether each of the statements, each of the words, okay, used in that particular program is correct or not. If there are any errors, it will give the errors to the programmer. It will list down all the errors. If there are no errors, then what the compiler will do? It will convert that C program code into the machine code. So machine code means what? It consists of a set of binary numbers, that is zeros and ones. If it is converted into a machine code, then directly that machine code can be used by the computer in order to execute the program. Okay, so among these three terms, the compiler is the one which you need to remember what actually compiler does. Okay, there are a lot of validation will be done by the compiler. Few of the things I have just listed over here. First is that it will check whether there are any syntax errors. What is syntax errors? These are the errors which will occur when the programmer makes mistakes while writing that particular syntax. So what is syntax? Syntax are nothing but the rules or the guidelines which a particular programmer has to follow in order to write the programming language. Okay, if there are no syntax errors in the C programming, then the C compiler will convert it into, instead of convert, we can say it will translate into a code which can be understood by the machine or the computer. That we call it to be a machine code. So once the machine code is ready, then that machine code can be directly used by the computer in order to execute the program. Okay, now are these terminologies understood? If there are any questions, any doubts, you may ask here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Sir,
Yes.
can you explain one more time C compiler?
C compiler. Okay, fine. So compiler is what? Compiler is a software. Compiler is nothing but a software. Okay, for the C programming, we need a particular software which has to translate the programming language code into a machine language code. We know that C programming is a high-level programming. What do we mean by high-level programming? Means the code, if it is written in a high-level language, it will be more easily understandable by the programmer or the human beings. But the same thing directly cannot be used by the program, because program, that is computer, will not able to understand it. So we need an intermediator which will translate the code which is written in a human understandable language into the machine understandable language, that is machine code. So in order to do this translation, the software, we call it to be a compiler. And for the C programming, the compiler is called as a C compiler. What its job? First, it has to check whether the program, the C program, which has been written by the programmer, is it correct? Correct in the sense, whether is it been followed all the rules, whatever has been prescribed for writing the C program. If not, If not means if there exists any syntax error, then list out those syntax errors. Okay, then programmer will correct those syntax errors. And if the program is free from syntax errors, then if there are no errors, then the compiler, what it will do, it will compile again. Okay, and it will give a translated code or translated file. Okay, in simple terms, that file can be easily understandable by the computer, and computer will be able to execute that particular program. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is just in a simple terms. Okay. Let me just try to show you that in a simple diagram. Okay. Now here you can see. Okay. Now, if you are not able to see, you just try to maximize the screen on your mobile phone and try to see a simple diagram here. On the left hand side, okay, if you notice, okay, and what is there? There is a file, a pictorial representation of a file where we call it to be a C program. Okay, this C program, it is we call it to be a source file. Source file means the C programming code. That C programming code will have to be converted into a machine language code, which is in terms of binary numbers. You may see what that file contains, ones and zeros only. Okay, this conversion from the source file, that is C program, to the machine code will be done by whom? It will be done by the compiler. Okay, so if it has to convert, then it should be free from errors. Okay, in order to clearly explain the entire process, okay, I will go through the another slide and I will try to explain more elaboratively. Okay, now certain things are there. In order to execute the C program, basically there are 3 steps. First is write the program, second is compile the program, and third is execute. Sometimes we call execute as the word, another word, run the program, R-U-N. Okay, now, so there are certain standards which Rani Chennamma University, which we have been affiliated to, what they have suggested that they have encouraged us to use certain softwares in order to write the program and execute. Okay, so you require a computer and an operating system, right? You might be knowing the operating system, Windows, you might have heard Windows 7, Windows 10. Okay, these are the operating system. There are another type of the operating system which we call it to be a free operating system or the open operating system. Open source means which are free for the use. Unlike the Windows is not a free. Someone has to pay certain amount of money to the Microsoft, then only they are eligible to use the genuine software. Okay, so for the operating system, what the RCU has encouraged is that we have to use Linux operating system. Means there is another type of the operating system which we call it to be a Linux operating system. Okay, then second is the compiler. In order to compile the program, we need a compiler, right? So the compiler, what they have asked us to use is something called as a GCC. There are varieties of compilers available for the C programming depending upon the operating system. And the most widely used compiler on the Linux is called as GCC, or anything which is compatible with the Linux. Okay, and thirdly is that we need to type the program in one of the software, right? So that editor, we call it to be an editor. For the editor, they have prescribed 3 different types. There is one editor called as an PI, second editor called as a gedit. It is called as gedit, and third is called as a genie. Okay, I will in the next class I will explore all these 3 things and explain you with a practical. Okay, as of now, just try to remember these things. Okay, these are the prescribed by the university. So I am explaining this one because in our lab, when you come to the college for when the offline classes begins, that time the computers in our lab will be having these things in order to execute the programs. The operating system that we will use is a Linux operating system, And the compiler we use is a GCC, and for editor, sometimes we use gedit or the JD. Okay, and even we can use VI as well. Okay, no problem in that. Okay, yes. Now, as I said, the three things that we need to do in order to execute a program is, first is we need to write the program. Okay, now you might be knowing that the files, okay, you can take any of the files, the files will be having a kind of an extension. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you will understand the extension. Let me first show you some extension files, then you would be clear with that one. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay, students, are you able to see my screen now? The folders and all, is it visible? Some files.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There are different files here. There are different files. Now, first one is how to know what type of the file it is. That can be understood by just looking into a particular column here. You may see a column here that the type which is there, right? So what this says, what type of the file. But without this one, there are something called as an extensions. For each of the files, there is something called as an extensions. Now, the first one, very much the first one, what we have, the name of the file is what? 01 syllabus. After that, there is a dot. Okay, the point of discussion is here itself, that is dot. After dot, there are few more characters, that is pptx. Okay, that pptx, we call it as an extension. The file extension means if any file has the extension as .pptx, then it is Microsoft presentation file. It is of the type Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. In the same way, if you notice here, there is one more file here, C programming unit 1 notes, right? Now here, if you notice the extension again, that is after dot, that is .docx. So what this docx indicates? It indicates it is a Microsoft Word document, right? In the same way, if you notice the next file, there is a .pdf. Means this file is a Adobe Acrobat document, that is a PDF file, right? Each of the files, every file have their own types. Okay, the type can be given based upon what is the extension it has been set, right? If it is a pptx, it is a presentation file, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. If it is a docx, it is a Word document. If it is a .pdf, then it is what? It is a PDF file. In the same way, when we have something called as a C programming file, right? In that case, the C programming file will also have certain, one second. C programming file will also have certain extensions. That extension, we call it to be what? We call it to be a .c extension. Okay, now if you just recall, earlier we had written a simple C program. If the name of the file, if I keep it to be a simple, then its extension should be what? Its extension should be .c. Its extension should be .c. Like for an example, simple.c. I will tell you how to give the file name later in the later sessions. Now onwards, if you find anywhere, if there is a file, certain file, and if its extension is .c, then we call it to be a C program. Okay. Usually we refer in a programming concepts, we refer the C program files or the C programs as a source file. Okay, that is the first thing. First, we need to write the C program and save it with .c extension. This can be done by using any of the editor which has been prescribed there, as either it could be a VI editor, gedit, or any GD also. Okay, then second is the compilation. Once the program is written, next step what has to be done? We have to verify whether the code, the program what we have written, whether it is correct or not. Correct in the sense, are we following all the rules which has been prescribed by the C compiler or not. So in order to do that one, we have to compile our source code. Okay. For example, to compile, we have to write something statements like GCC, a space, and then name of the C programming file. In the example, I have taken it to be simple.c. Okay, now if you notice here, there is a GCC. That means name of the compiler used for compilation is GCC here. Okay, this is how we will compile. If there are any errors, what it will do? It will list out the errors. If there are no errors, it will not list out any errors. That is as simple as that. Again, I will explain these things by taking certain examples, certain C programs in the later sections. Once the compilation is successful, next step is what? The third and final step is execute it. So for execution, we need to do ./a.out. We need to press something called as ./. You may notice here slash is /a.out. These things, whatever the examples are, these are with respect to what RCU prescribed us. The compiler and the operating system and the editor. Okay, I will tell you the other alternatives also. If you are not having those particular softwares and how to work on the other softwares, that also I will tell you in the later sections. Okay, so three things you just remember in order to execute the program. First is write the program, that is write the source code. The source code should always be in the extension .c. Second is, after the program writing is completed, we have to compile it. So for the compilation, we have to use GCC simple.c. That is simple.c here is a name of the program. Once the compilation is successful, the word successful means what? If there are no errors. Then the third step we have to do, that is the final step, that is execution. That execution can be done by writing a certain keywords, certain commands. We call it to ./a.out. Okay, as of now, you may think that these are something very, very new to you, but as soon as we start with the program execution, probably in the next class, okay, you will get to know what are these things, and absolutely these are very simple to remember. Okay, now in this particular screen, I have put the entire process of execution. Okay, now let me see. I will just try to put certain thoughts on this one. Let me see how many of you are able to understand these things. Okay, now just pay attention here. Now here, I can divide this entire picture into three parts. Okay, as with respect to the three steps which we have taken. First one is what? Source code. First one is source code. Second is the compilation, that is compilation. Okay, the compiling the source code. Third is the execution. That execution here I have displayed as ./a.out. Okay, these are the three different steps which are there in this particular slide. Okay, now first one is that we first have to, a programmer has to write the code, right? The code, once the source code is written, it has to be stored. It has to be saved as what? The name of the file with the extension .c, right? This much knowledge we have already acquired. Next is what? Once the program is written, we have to compile it, right? We have to go for the compilation. Compilation, there is a spelling mistake here. Okay, I will take it out. Okay, the compilation spelling is wrong here. Okay, not to worry at this moment. Okay, now in the whole process of compilation, there are certain softwares which we encounter. There are different types of softwares which we encounter. The first one which we have already known for is something called as a compiler. Okay, then second type of the software is called as a linker. I will explain what actually this linker is. Okay, now let us go step by step. First, what we do, we will write the program and we will save it with respect to .extension. If this particular program is correct, say if it is having certain errors, then what the compiler will do? Compiler will give certain errors. Means again we have to correct those errors in our program. If next time if there are no errors, then the compiler will give you a true value. In the sense, it will not show any of the errors. Then internally it creates a file called as object file. you may see here dot obj is there. Dot obj means dot object file. This object file will not be visible to the programmer. Okay, remember that this object file will not be visible to the programmer. It will be internally taken care. Okay, now, so it creates an object file or the object code. Then you might be knowing by this time in the C program, we write include statement, hash include stdioh, right? That is what? Those are the header files. Those have stored somewhere else in the compiler. Okay, those are inbuilt files. So those inbuilt files now see here, there is one notation is given here, stdio.h. These are the one of the header files. These header files we have included where? We have included in our source file. The first statement would itself is what? Hash include stdio.h. So we have included means we have given a link. We have given a link to this stdio.h file in our source code. Okay, before the executable file is created, before this executable file is created, there comes another software called as a linker. What this linker will do, as the name suggests, it tries to link, it tries to establish a link between the source file, this particular source file, and the header file. It will not directly establish the link between the source file. Instead, what it does, it tries to establish the link between the object which has been converted by the compiler and this particular header file. Both will get linked together, and that whatever output we get, that output we call it to be an executable file. We call it to be an executable file or the executable code. Okay, in Windows, it will be in the form of .exe. In Windows operating system, it will be in the type of .exe, whereas in the Linux, it will be in the form of a.out. A.out. Okay, so this entire process will be taken place when you write the simple statement that is gcc sample.c. When we run this particular command, all these complex executions, complex process will be done by the compiler. Okay, then next, once the a.out is available, then this exe will be where? It will be present in, this out file will be present in the secondary memory devices. Secondary memory device means, for a simple example, the computer has a memory. We have a hard disk, we have a RAM, we have a pen drive, right? So we can categorize with the different examples, but basically we call them to be a primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is nothing but the memory which is present in the CPU, or what we call it to be a RAM, RAM, random access memory. The computer will to access it, anything if it is present in its CPU or it's in RAM. Means from the secondary storage, this a.out is present in the hard disk. From the hard disk, it has to be placed where? It has to be placed in its CPU. Means it has to be loaded from the secondary memory to the primary memory. This job will be done by another software called as a loader. The software by the name loader, what it does, it takes out this executable file and puts it onto the CPU for the execution. So this process can be done by just writing a simple command ./a.out. Okay, and once that is done, we will be getting the output on our screen or on the monitor. This is how the entire process of execution takes place, starting from writing the program, first step, then the second is compilation, right? Then the third is execution. I hope this particular slide is understood. If there are any doubts, not to worry, we will keep on revising these things, okay, after certain sessions are over. Okay, so any questions, students, as of now? If there are any, you may ask, or else we will proceed further. Now, students, you can enter your roll numbers. Those students who enters the roll numbers now, I will be considering their attendance. Okay, so go ahead and enter your attendance. You just need to enter your roll number. You need not to write that roll number present, sir, and all. Okay. And still today I can see few students are not joined with their roll number. Okay. So is this particular slide understood, student? Any doubts in this?
So I'm getting confused in the header files part.
Okay, no worries. In the once we actually see the actual code with the example during that time, we will definitely you will get rid of those doubts. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Yes. In this particular session, we just try to remember that three things are there. Okay. First things with what we have discussed, those are related to the some terms: syntax error, and compilation. Syntax means what? These are the rules or the guidelines which are there for a particular programming language. Right? The programmer has to follow those things, follow those particular rules in order to execute or in order to write the program. If the programmer makes certain mistakes in that one, then such errors are called as syntax errors. Okay. Third is the compiler, a software that will translate the programming language into a machine code. Okay. It's a pairing. In simple terms, we can say it will try to convert the source code into a machine understandable code. These are the three things, terms. Apart from that, what we have studied, the three steps involved in execution of the C program. First is writing the program. So when we write the program, we have to save with the extension .c. Second is compilation. The compilation can be done by writing using the GCC. That GCC is one of the compiler, the widely most famous compiler. And the third is the actual execution. That actual execution can be done by just writing another command ./a. All these commands are with respect to Linux operating system. Okay. I just try to recollect all the things which we have discussed in today's session. Okay. If you have any doubts here, please pop that one and you may ask those questions in the next class. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have hardly a minute. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, which book we can refer?
Book, textbook.
Yeah, sir.
The textbook I will tell you in the next class. Now time is very less. So in the tomorrow's class, I will tell you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. Okay, then. If
Thank you, sir.
you have entered your roll number, I will conclude the session and we will meet tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.